My God, Dennis and Lisa, you're a little high in frequency. You must be running some vintage equipment.
Yes, indeed.
Well, congratulations on that. Anybody else, give me a call, W7MS. Well, shucks, I'm dying to find out what Dennis and Lisa are on tonight. So W6DQ. And then, of course, over to the pilot there, KF6QNG, and then back to me. Take it away, W7MS.
Well, normally I'm looking on the SDR and see I am a little high. And that's because of the BFO crystal in the transmitter, I'm sure, is off. But we're back on the S-line tonight. And I'm having problems. Normally I have one of the SDRs running locally here so that I can zero beat. For some reason, the sync function on the transmitter isn't working correctly. So I can't bring it up to be able to zero beat my transmitter receiver. So right now I'm just running on the receiver BFO. So we are running the 32S3 Alpha, the 75S3C, and the 30 Sugar 1. So that's what's going on here. So Mike, thanks for taking the net tonight. Appreciate that, as always. And I'll send it over to Lisa, KF6QNG, from W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. And looking forward to the net this evening. We've got a growing list here, so I know that you will self-take check-ins when it's appropriate, and check-ins then. So anyway, with that, goes back to Mike. W7MS from KF6QNG.
Well, thank you, Lisa and Dennis. W7MS here. Did I happen to hear K6LGL in the background? Is that you, Skip?
I did hear him. I did hear him too. Did you get Skip?
Well, I got Skip, but he's probably about Q3. It was Q5 on the initial howdy there, so we'll see how it goes. But good evening to you, Skip, and hopefully we're not doubling. Okay, well, we've got Skip on the tail end here, but another shout-out. Anybody wishing to join us in the rotation for the Friday evening Collins Collectors Association, give me a call, W7MS. Well, I'm going to ask for any relays because this is summertime. Okay, well, we're just about at the witching hour here. I'm running the usual stuff, the Rockwell Collins HF380 and the home-built GU84B amp with, as I like to brag, with 12 dB of attenuation on the input, so running about 1,000 watts out. And to be friendly with the neighbors, especially if there's anybody operating on 3900. We don't need that interaction. But let me see here. Great group, and great to hear there's some of the usual suspects, but great to hear Foster back on the air, and of course Brown from North Carolina. He's stopping by to grace us, and of course great to hear Marie K6IOY with her legacy call sign there. So let me start off here, and I did find the preamble. That was the other scamper here, and my apology to the net manager. I almost slept in. Or the excuse would be my dog ate my homework, but I don't think that's going to float. So that's a full disclosure here. But this is W7MS, Whiskey 7 Mexico Sierra, military standard. My name is Mike, and my location is the city of Reno, the great state of Nevada, and I'll be your net control station today. Welcome to the regular Friday evening West Coast edition of the Collins Collectors Association Collins Net. We meet here every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. That's a 0300 UTC Saturday to exchange information on Collins radio-related topics. We welcome questions and comments on the restoration and operation of Collins amateur, military, and commercial gear. You don't have to be running Collins equipment to join us. Anyone with an interest in Collins Radio is welcome to check in. The purpose of the CCA is to promote the preservation, restoration, and use of Collins amateur radio equipment and to preserve the history and lore of Collins Radio. In addition, we provide a technical and historical information archive for Collins Radio information. The CCA is licensed by Rockwell Collins to use images, logos, manuals, and printed materials. For more information about the Collins Collectors Association, its forums, activities, services, and how to become a member, please visit our website at www.collinsradio.org. That's, of course, Collins Radio, one word, .org. Please help our efforts by joining the Collins Collectors Association. For added fun during the net, join us on Zoom. We have a weekly Zoom session during the CCA net. Send an email to w6dq@arrl.net if you would like to join in. Make sure you identify who you are in the email. In other words, drop an exciting sentence or two in the subject line to alert Dennis to your request. But this is W7MS. We'll kick off the Collins Collectors Association net, but we'll take a listen here for any additional check-ins. Give me a call, W7MS. Well, any relays? Nothing heard here. Well, you know, this is great. Great group here. And I was looking on the web, and this is for Kevin. I was looking on the web, and one of the press releases on one of the TV station websites was that tomorrow there's a Reno Garlic Festival. So, stiff competition. I have no idea where, who, why, and I won't be attending, but there is a Reno Garlic Festival tomorrow, Saturday, so that's some hot off the press information. So we'll start off here in the rotation. We'll start off with N6AF, otherwise known as Chuck, on his 1963 M2. Over to Kevin, W86JKN, with the exercised KWS1 being exercised tonight. Over to Brown, W1NZR on the 618T. And then we'll go over to Marie, K6IOY. And then we can finish up with the hubby, W6MVM, and then back to me, Mike, W7MS. So take it away, Chuck, N6AF, W7MS.
All righty. Mute that guy in the background. November 6 Alpha Fox. And correct, on the 1963 KWM2. That's proven to be quite reliable. And that's its claim to fame, I would say. So, yeah, let's see. I mean, same inverted V as last week. Same solid state amp. I guess I could light up the SB220 instead one of these episodes. But anyway, got a little bit of transistors in the lineup here, 4 of them as a matter of fact. But so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to bring up a slightly different subject, but it is radio related. On a 40-meter net earlier this week that I attend very frequently, once in a while we'll have somebody, a stranger, just break in, and so this guy calls in on sideband, and it turns out he's at about 11,000 feet, trout fishing, backpacked in above Mammoth Lakes, and he's running a KX3, and that just harkened back to some memories of my, gosh, it must be 40 years ago. I went up there with, I had built a little QRP transceiver and used it when I was backpacking. It was just a lot of fun, and I've done it over here just like on a day trip over by the coast here, and set up to go fishing for a few signals up and down the coast on 40 meters using, of course, a 12-foot surf rod to support an inverted V on the side of my, back in those days, a 68 BW camper. The big party was all about catching as many CW operators as I could. So that's my little contribution. I haven't really done anything to the KWM2, and it's the only Collins equipment I have in the shack, and I'm not going to touch it until it blows up. But that could be decades from now. All right, so over to Kevin there, WA6JKN. This is N6AF.
Yeah, N6AF in the group WA6JKN. Well, thank you very much, Mike, about the Reno Garlic Festival. It sounds like they got quite a thing going on there. I just read through their website real quick. Reno Tahoe, the Reno Garlic Festival, coming up tomorrow, July 29th. And I was looking at their venue, and it looks like they've done a really fine job, that's for sure. And I'm here smiling because I'm looking at the vendors. Take a look at the vendors. They got some vendors that got some interesting names, like Down to Earth Composting, or how about Full Circle Compost? Yeah, well, I'll just leave the rest to for those that want to go in and look into that. So anyway, I'm on the Collins KW Sugar 1 tonight. It has all 7 service bulletins, and it's in pretty tip-top shape. The microphone's a D104, 75A4 receiver, and I have the fan dipole up at about 45 feet at the apex. So all is well here. The weather's been absolutely gorgeous here, and I've been spending time outdoors, and my oldest daughter, as of tomorrow, 4 children, raised 4 children. She'll become officially an empty nester tomorrow. How about that? All that means is we're getting a little bit older, at least one day older, and I'm really proud of her. Her and her husband both, Bill, have done a real fine job raising their 4 children, and they're off doing their thing, college and whatnot. So I'm really happy for them to join the ranks of the empty nesters. Now they can travel the world. I said, you don't have to be held down anymore. You just make reservations and go do all those things you talked about. All right, let's see. Let's keep it moving here. I guess this is my one and done. I don't know if you're going to have time to do more with this large group, but it is a wonderful group. And Brown, I hope your visit was good, and have a safe trip home. W1NZR, WA6JKN, Kevin and Gilroy.
Well, very good, Kevin. WA6JKN and the Collins Collective Net, W1NZR returning. Well, I hope when I get around to putting one of my 2 KWS-1s on the air that it sounds half as good as yours, Kevin, because it really is doing a very, very nice job. And Chuck, at the moment, you're the channel master, and the KWM2 sounds very nice. I was actually in your vicinity a couple of days ago and dining at one of my favorite places, Harry's Hofbrau on Camino Royale in Redwood City. A fine, fine establishment. I wonder if you know it. And let's see, radio-wise, a couple of things. I actually, on Wednesday, was cavorting with the president of our fine organization, K5URG, Francesco. He motored out here from Texas to retrieve a pair of TRC 136, that's track 136s, which are his call sign's namesake radios, Universal Radio Group, built in the mid-60s, primarily for the Air Force. And I won't go into the whole story, but he salvaged 2 that I had found sitting in Antioch. So he drove out here and arrived Wednesday morning, and we loaded them up, and he was on his way back in the early afternoon, and actually he just got home about an hour ago, back to his place in Heath, Texas. So I thought that's a fairly reasonable radioactivity to relate here. And I had wanted to get on tonight with a URC-32, also known as a KWT-6, Kilo Whiskey Tango 6, an infamous Collins set from the very late 50s, used extensively by the Air Force and Navy. But I only have a random wire for the lower frequencies, and it just did not want to cooperate. I got it tuned up, and I flattened the SWR, but there was just too much RF on a random wire unbalanced feed. So it'll have to wait until I put up a proper 75-meter dipole. But that's the way it goes in the radio world. Okay, over to Miss Marie. And I knew that your dad was a ham, but I didn't know his call. So, Marie, I'm very glad to hear that you acquired his call, and it's very nice to hear you and Mike on, and both of you are putting in a fantastic signal. Also, very good evening to Andy, Max, Dennis, Lisa, and Foster. All of you have quite nice signals. And Max, good to hear you from one of my favorite places in California, and I'm still threatening to come down and bother you. In fact, I've got a job coming up in SoCal, and I may see if I can motor by and check you out. So with that, over to Sonora, I hope. K6OIY and the Collins Collectors Net from W1NZR. Go ahead, Marie.
Well, thank you very much. This is K6IOY. Nice to join the net, and good evening to everybody. I've been a listener. Mike likes this net. It's one of his very favorites, and I usually sit back in the chair and listen to everything that's going on. It's very interesting. I got a kick out of Reno having a garlic festival. Goodness, I thought Gilroy is the king of the garlic festivals. Now there's another one. Well, I hope whatever you do, you have a good time there. And I'll turn it back over to Mike. K6IOY.
Thank you, K6IOY, W6MBM. Yeah, Brown, thanks. Good to hear you. Really good to hear you in town. And I'm sitting here running an S1 line that Marianne bought me in 2019 at the Yuma Ham Fest. She bought this for me, and they're working great. Anyway, I'm running on an old 3001 Vietnam War vet, and we're on a big G5 RV here with a D104 mic. And Marianne loves to listen to this net. She comes in. By the way, many years ago, I was the engineering chief design engineer for Westinghouse on BART, B-A-R-T, the Bay Area Rapid Transit. I designed a lot of the control systems in the cars and in the stations, kind of the lead troubleshooter and designer for Westinghouse. Well, guess who's in charge of replacing all that stuff I did 45 years ago? Brianne's son, Kenny, is the engineering manager at BART, in charge of replacing all that equipment. We talk frequently about it. Anyway, just a coincidence, just a great coincidence. And you know, I'm glad the equipment most of it is still running 45 years later. They're replacing it mainly because they can't get parts for to fix it anymore. Oh, as you would guess, after 45 years, since I'm sitting here on a 60-year-old radio, I understand that fully. Anyway, let me pass it on, and I think I pass it back to Mike, W7MS, W6MBM.
Well, thank you, Mike. W7MS here. And great reception from all subjects from 40-meter contact at 11,000 feet for Chuck there on 40 meters. And I'm familiar with that 40-meter get-together that you guys have in the mornings. Tuned across it a few times. And great, KX3. All right. And we'll see if Kevin is one and done, but we'll keep him on the list just in case. But, the KWS1 sounding great. and appreciate his continued comments on the Reno Garlic Festival. Thank you much, sir. And also the empty nester syndrome, and having children that are functioning units is a prime objective of all parents. So congratulations to your daughter, and that's a success for that family and also for society to have functioning units in the family. And Brown, Will, you've been a busy man with Francesco, and Mike, Will, in the URC 32 attempt, KWT6. Well, you're just an amazing gentleman there with all the goodies that are here on the West Coast at your auxiliary station. So congratulations, and looking forward to when you resolve the RF and the shack issues to hearing the URC 32 on the air. And great on the Harry's Hofbrau. I'm sure we'll get some comments from Chuck there on El Camino Real there in beautiful downtown Redwood City. And hello, Marie. Great to hear you. Great fidelity. You're modulating that radio as an old pro would. So congratulations on that, and great on the legacy call sign. And for the hubby, that's extreme nepotism, isn't it? That's great with Kenny's taking the reins. But I guess maybe on the next round you can say who's going to be their choice of vendors these days. Siemens. Things have changed a lot since you were there on the original build. But with that, I'll take a call out, shout out here for any additional check-ins, and then start round 2 of the rotation. So this is W7MS. I'm net control for the Friday evening Collins Collectors Association net. So anybody else wishing to join us, give me a call and I'll add you to the rotation.
W7MS, W6RBJ.
Well, W6RBJ. Hi, Ron.
Good evening to you.
We'll have you at the tail end of the list after Skip, so we'll see what happens. Anybody else? Okay, well, Foster, again, great to hear you, and welcome back. And we'll start off with UW4HCX and over to Andy, KD6TKX, who probably is taking some time off from pounding brass with some of those spy sets that he's been having a lot of fun with. And then over to Max, KJ6HN, if he's still available. He was cooking dinner, but we'll have to see. He may just be a listener. And then Dennis, W6DQ with that 32S3A. Yeah, good stuff. And then Lisa, KF6QNG. And then back to me. And then we'll pick up Skip and Ron. So take it away, Foster, W4HCX, W7MS.
Yeah, okay, Mike, real fine. W7MS and the group W4HCX. Well, I don't have much to say here, Mike. I'm off the air because of the QRM from the inverters or whatever they are on the solar arrays all around me here. So it's by choice. Tonight I've got this thing screwed down pretty tight. Typically runs 20 over 9 noise level, and I enjoy the Collins net, but and the swap nets as well. Let's see, what else is there? I'm going to start pinning the herd. I've got, I don't even want to go into it. But right now I've got 2 30S1s that I want to get off the floor. So they're cheap, and I think they're too good too for the doggone things as well. So other than that, Mike, it's good to hear you, and you're one of the reasons I got on the air tonight. The XYL is waving to me that my supper's getting cold, or she's going to feed it to the dogs if I don't get in there. So I'll send it over to, I think it was K6TKN, but TKX, I'm not sure. Can't read my writing. So who's ever next in line, go ahead and take it and draw a name through, or a line through my name there, Mike. I'm going to say 7 3s all around and get out of here. W4HCX.
RCX in the group. Here is Kilowatt Delta 6 Tango Kilo X-Ray. 73s to you, Foster, and Kevin, if you're signing, 73s to you as well. This is Andy, located at Curry Mountain, California, which is about 80 miles southwest of Fresno. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. In the middle of nowhere at the southern tip of the Diablo Mountain Range. And broadcasting tonight on the Collins KWS-1, my trusty KWS-1 and the 75A4 receiver. The antenna is a fan dipole for 160, 75, and 40, designed by my buddy Jeff, WB6ZBX. And yeah, great signals tonight, actually, even though it's summertime, everyone's blasting in. So Chuck, Kevin, Brown, good to hear you. Mike and Marie, Max, Foster, Dennis, and Lisa, and then Skip, and I might be missing somebody there. I was just trying to make my memory work by remembering stuff. But anyways, nice to be part of the Collins Net. I haven't been on in a little while. But let's see, I've been, earlier this week I had the KWS-1 on CW. Hadn't done that for quite a long time. That was a lot of fun. What a cream puff. The whole, the way it works, the integration with the 75A4 and everything, just a real nice experience on CW, that's for sure. And earlier today, Mike, I was not pounding brass on a spy set, but it was a 1944 wireless set, number 48, running 250 milliwatts on 40 meters, and I had a solid QSET with Brian in Flagstaff, about 600 miles away, actually, on 250 milliwatts. I couldn't believe it. I don't even smoke, but it was so amazing I had to step out back and have a virtual cigarette to celebrate that. But you know you're a dork when that's a big deal. And I'm fully encamped in the dork encampment, that's for sure. This would be it for me, but I did want to be on the net tonight, and I'll be listening through this round. And thanks for letting me be part of it. And over to Max, KJ6HN, and the Collins Group. Thank you, Mike, for running the show. This is KD6TKX.
Alrighty then, Andy, KD6TKX, KJ6HN, and the group here for the gathered for the Friday Night Conflict Collectors Association West Coast Net. And yeah, really good propagation tonight from pretty much everybody. And so KJ6HN here in Darwin, California, and somebody mentioned, I don't remember who, I didn't take good notes. Somebody said they were maybe going to come by and bother me. Well, come on by and bother me in Darwin, California. Great town, very social town. Lots of stuff going on here in a town with a population of 40 people that live here year-round, with the closest other town being Lone Pine, about 35 miles away, where I just was about 2 days ago doing some shopping. Not much of a choice there, but still, it's shopping. So, running tonight's the Signal 1 Mil-Spec 1030. Still don't know the date it was manufactured. And the Alpha 77SX out to a homemade dipole made of 12-gauge flexed weave antenna wire, 128 strands, amazing stuff. You can tie knots in it, unlike the copper-class steel wire. And I have done. The sections of the dipole have broken over the years, and I've tied reef knots in the line, and it's still holding up. So, magic stuff. Let's see, I've told you about the radio station. I had a friend bang on the door about 7 or 8 minutes ago, so this will be my last transmission, because we've got entertainment and dinner in store, and my dinner is, or our dinner, is simmering on the stove right now. So, I will say 73. And thank you, Mike, for running the net. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. Not sure if I turn it back to you, Mike, W7MS, or over to W6DQ and KF6QNG. So I'm going to go with the latter and turn it over to Dennis and Lisa. Good night, everybody. 73. Great propagation. W6DQ. and KF6QNG, KJ6HN.
Well, very good, Max. KJ6HN in the Collins Nest, W6DQ here, Dennis and Inyo Kern, and Mike, hopefully I'm a little bit closer to frequency now. I got the transmitter zero. It's also staying rock solid right on frequency after a fairly short warm-up, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I mentioned before running 32S3 Alpha, 75S3C, and 30S1, and tonight I'm using the just inverted feed. But I'm actually listening on listening with another receiver on the loop. It's just a monitor mic signal to make sure that I'm looking okay, and I'm looking at it on the SDR, and it's looking pretty clean on my local receiver here, which is highly attenuated right now, so that's good. All right, well, we haven't had this guy on the air. I spent a lot of time this afternoon trying to get this thing going, and of course came out here at 6:30, fired everything up, and couldn't get it to go. Par for the course. But it's going now, so I'm kind of happy about that. It's nice to get this old S-line on the air again. Got a couple more to work on next. But we've spent the last couple of days rewiring all of our antenna switching. I've added a couple of new antennas and moved some stuff around, and so that leads to having to reconfigure all my switching. And I'm really kind of happy with the way it turned out. It's not quite finished yet, but I got it far enough along that I can put this radio on the air, and I can put, I've got two different desks on the air, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different radios that are actually on the air right now. So that's kind of cool. And then next I'll work on the next desk, which has 3 different radios on it, and then the next desk after that has 2, which is one of my other Collins S lines, and KW12A. No, that's just a KW12, I take it back, sorry. KW12A is on the desk behind. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Nice day today, almost 107 here in Inyo Kern, nice and warm. It's currently, let's see, a few minutes ago it was down to, it's down to 99. It finally dropped below 100. So, but yeah, it's been a pretty warm couple of weeks here. It does not cool off at night much, stays in the 90s. And so in the morning it's pretty toasty when we get up outside. So it's like, yikes. I wish this would get over with. I don't mind the hot weather so much, but this is getting to be a little bit too much. I can't really do, it's so hot in the mornings when I get up, I can't really do any work. So I can maybe spend 15 minutes out working on antennas, and that's about it. And I did do that this week. I did reconfigure the inverted feed. It's hanging from a 55-foot tower, and I moved it from one side of the tower to the other side of the tower to get it kind of more in the clear, and that seems to have done a pretty good job with it physically away from the tower, so I'm kind of happy about that. It also was able to get the 40-meter dipole up a little bit higher than it was before, and it seems to be working well on using it on 40 and on 15 meters to quite an advantage, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's what's happening here. Mike, again, thanks for taking the net tonight. Appreciate you getting back to me today, this morning, or last night, whenever you wrote back. I don't know. I saw the email this morning, so I appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to send it over to Lisa, KF6QNG, and the Collins Net, W6DQ.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Thank you again, Mike, for running the show this evening. So, just listening to all the conversations and everything that's coming up. So, let's see, I'm doing well. Still working, of course. Back to work in the office. My work from home was only when I had COVID. So, anyway, they made it just a temporary situation, which is fine, and feeling good now, and going pretty well. Hard to believe it's the end of July already, though. It's like crazy stuff. I wish hope everyone has a great weekend and we see a great evening. With that, it goes back to you, Mike. W7MS from KF6QNG.
Well, thank you, Lisa. KF6QNG and the West Coast Collins Collectors Association at W7MS. And, a few comments. Well, we'll say 7-3s to Foster. He's off having dinner. And he signed. Congratulations on the 250 milliwatt two-way between Arizona and Curry Mountain. That's really cool. That's an accomplishment, and also just fun to physics to challenge the physics of propagation and to be successful. Great, Max. Enjoy your dinner with your visitor there. Great to hear you. Always a pleasure. And Dennis has had enough of the heat. Well, can understand, but I'm going to be, it's 85 degrees outside, so that's the temperature here, but I'm certainly envious of you and Lisa when it's December and January in Reno. And you're commenting on the cold temperatures, but from my perspective, it's a heat wave, so it's all relative, but good on various projects and the correct lineup there and the correction. So that's sounded good, and you are on frequency, so doing quite well. And a few radio related. I guess I haven't been on here for a week or two, and I did have an issue with my Rockwell Collins 851S1. I noticed that I was 20 dB low on the old carrier level meter as opposed to the upper sideband position. So we took that out of the cabinet. And, to keep kind of the long story short, or long story long, but turned out to be the lower sideband mechanical filter seemed to have a itchy, scratchy intermittent when it was rocked. So, but the interesting thing was, since the board was wave soldered, it really wasn't soldered. It didn't really flow on the pins in the mechanical filter, because when I tried just to do the Lazy Man's reheat on those solder pads, the solder didn't flow. It just built up around the pins. So out came the solder wick and the flux pin, and we burnished the pins with the rosin flux pin, and problem resolved. And issue number 2 was that I hate in these later vintage Rockwell Collins equipment is those damn hermetically sealed Cermet pots, which are atrocious for audio gain. Boy, they're noisy and intermittent. So we tackled that. And as I've done with some of the RV military pots, I found a relatively safe location, at least hoping, as I did some surgery with a 16th-inch drill, so I could get some cleaner, some fader lube into that potentiometer. So needless to say, mission accomplished, and I can run the audio gain up and down on the 851S1 without that annoying. It's more than noise. It's literally an intermittent or dead spots in the Cermet issue inside of those guys. So great, hermetically sealed, but like everything else, you can argue the point that it really wasn't necessarily designed to still be a functioning device years after its manufacture. So that's my setup here, and a little bit of I wouldn't say brain surgery, but maybe it came about with some success. But with that, let me take a shout out here for any additional check-ins, and then we'll hand it off to the last two, if in fact they are the last two. So any additional check-ins to the Friday edition of the Collins Collectors Association net, give me a call, W7MS.
Whiskey Bravo 6.
I got WB6 Yankee Zulu, and I missed the last one. Go ahead.
2 Zulus.
Well, that explains why I missed it. WB6YZZ, is that correct?
That's Roger. Here's George. I'm in Prineville, Oregon, and I'm running the KWS1K. Newly refurbished.
Oh, congratulations, George, on the KWS1. You're doing well. You're a little light from Prineville, Oregon, but still Q5. So There are only 3 folks here, so what I'm going to do is maybe take another pause just in case there's someone else out there, and then we'll start. But you'll be number 3 on the next rotation. So W7MS, anybody else wishing to join us? Well, nothing heard here, so let's give it a shot. Let's see how Skip's doing. K6LGL, and then turn it up to Ron, W6RBJ, and then Ron over to WB6YZZ on his KWS1, and then back to me, George, W7MS. So over to you, Skip.
Okay, thank you, Mike. W7MS and the CCA net for the Skip and Santa Monica the small 572 the amplifier to about 400 watts or so. That's pushing any power to speak of. And go ahead and do dipole antenna. No, I'm on the doublet, I'm sorry. And this is transmitting on the doublet for the feeding. Okay, and Dennis finding where antenna switching and antenna work. And yeah, at 104 degrees or so, especially when it doesn't come off humidity, it's pretty hard to go out and do any work outside. But I guess we'll all have to do with the heat. And luckily here on the coast it's a little cooler, so I can't complain too much. And so doing some work on my AM equipment with the 400 and 400. But my 400 when it's running well, without 350 watts, there's a standard 400 with the power supply that's supplied by O'Neill Morrison Station. We'll do about 300. You have to be make a few alterations of the tank start to do a little lacking dissipation capability. And after that, I think it goes over to W6RBJ, over to you there, Ron. And if not, please relay me and Mike. K6 Little Green Light, Santa Monica by the Bay.
K6LGL, Skip, and the Collins Group, W6RBJ. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, Skip, you were a little light there, but it was Q5 copy. Everyone else is just blowing the band away up here this evening with very nice signals, usually up in a S8, S9, or like if you're Mike up in Reno, 10 over S9. We've had a beautiful day here in the Redwoods on the coast with a high of about 73, and a nice day to take a walk. So clear, and some of the smoke from the fires in Oregon has been blown in other directions, so it's been a beautiful time. Nice day for a net. One quick question to toss out. I'm just kind of curious if any of those remaining have ever had this experience. The experience of having radio frequency signals trip a GFCI breaker. This happened to me a couple of Sundays ago when I was tuning up on a 20-meter CCA net that I actually tripped a GFCI in my shack. And I got reading about it, and apparently this is something that is not terribly uncommon. But I've been using this same station, same power, same frequencies for 13, 14 years, and this has never happened before. So I'm just curious to know if this is something that other people have experienced. And so with that, I'll pass it over to George, WB6 Yankee Zebra, and the group, W6RBJ.
Hey, Roger, WB6YZZ. Well, I am located in Prineville, about the center of Oregon, originally from the Bay Area, that's why it's called. And I'm listening on a 75A4, which is my favorite receiver of all time. So I finally got the KWS1 about about a month ago and got it working. Of course, it took a friend to get it upstairs here, but seems to be okay. Still having a little bit of trouble getting exact 0 beat. And if I run it up too much power, the whole power supply vibrates. I gotta look into that. The antenna here is an off-center fed for 80 meters, and it seems to work really well, except on 17 maybe. And for that, I've got a big IR vertical, which I use. And I'm about ready to get rid of it because the horizontal is always better than the vertical, it seems like, every band. Anyway, back to Mike, WB6YZV.
Well, okay, George, just a question. You're aware of the Collins Collectors Association group, and or you? It sounds like you're an old-timer who's just enjoying his resurrected KWS-1, but it is a question for you, W7MS.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you're familiar with the net here on Fridays and the Collins Collectors Association group. I would assume you are.
Oh, Roger, I joined the association, and I found the net. However, I was a little confused because it appeared as though the central time zone United States, California 28, over here. I came up here since I couldn't hear anything there, and you were here. I don't know.
Okay, well, thanks, George. Great to hear you tonight. So welcome back anytime. And again, congratulations on the resurrected KWS-1. So, a few comments here, W7MS, to make it official. But good evening, Skip. You were Q5 and hanging out there in God's country by Santa Monica Bay. So nice to hear you tonight. And Ron, RBJ, yeah, it's quite a common issue. I've never had any problems in this house, and I'm going to be turning, my 10-year anniversary is next month when I closed on this palatial estate 10 years ago. And the only issue I had was getting on the air here on Friday nights, or for any of the vintage nets on 3895 when I got back on the air, was kicking on the central vac system, which had me perplexed because I would hear this kind of whoop and suck sound since one of the outlets is out in the hallway, and it just that one was strange. It took me about 15 minutes to figure out it was the central vac that I was energizing. So I guess that goes to show if it isn't one thing, it's another. But in other homes, it's been a real headache to the point where I've possibly violated the NEC code and temporarily defeated those devices. Not with the intention of causing any electrocutions in, wet spaces, but sometimes these guys were just strange how they would end up in the from the load center to the off that branch where they would hang that ground fault interrupter, or GFIC as they like to call them today. And I know there's some more modern versions of that safety device that are really can be a rabbit hole for folks to deal with from an RF standpoint. So with that, I think we'll do a round two here. Let me do a time check because I think we've all done really well. So we've got about 15 minutes before we hit at least the theoretical top of the hour, but great reception from all, and it's been fun. And one last call here for any additional check-ins if there's anybody else wishing to join us, and you'll be up. You will have a turn immediately. Give me a call, W7MS. Okay, nothing heard there. And there you go. That's for Kevin if he's still listening. My toe slipped off the foot switch, which is a common issue for me. Toe cramp syndrome. And glad everybody's doing well. And I forgot to comment on Lisa that you're just busy and recovered from the challenge of what you and Dennis had to go through here a few weeks ago, it's more than a few weeks, but maybe some lingering effects. But with that, let's try for round two for 7.3 round, so we still got N6AF, and he's going to comment on that El Camino Real eatery. And over to WA6JKN if he's still listening. And of course we've got Brown, W1NZR, because he's just kicking back, probably looking forward to his drive to the Sacramento airport tomorrow to head back home. And then over to Marie, K6IOY, and then Mike, W6MVM, and then we'll just back to me for a brief one, and we'll keep it rolling. So over to you, Chuck, N6AF, W7MS.
All right. November 6 Alpha Fox. Yeah, Harry Hofbrau. So just a little background on what led up to me having quite a few meals there with my colleagues from work. For those that have been along the peninsula here years ago, in San Carlos, there was a huge GTE Lenkert facility campus. And in 1955, one of the engineers, a guy by the name of Bill Faranon, decided to strike out on his own Silicon Valley style, so he started Faranon Electric in 1955. And fast forward to 1980, and he was in the process of selling Faranon Electric to Harris Corporation out of Melbourne, Florida. And that was the same year that they hired me straight out of college. So I started at Harris Faranon in 1980, point-to-point microwave radio. So I was one of the R&D design engineers in that Harris division. And over the course of years, it merged with one competitor named Digital Microwave Corporation, DMC, and morphed this way and that. But a lot of the long-time original Faranon Electric engineers stayed on. And I came in 1980. I just retired 7 years ago after 36 years. Anyway, what we started doing was we would have an annual luncheon around Christmas time at Harry's Hofbrau, and it was very interesting because you would see some of the guys that retired, decades before me, and who's that guy? And some people came in wheelchairs or were helped in, but just full of neat old stories. And so you had the old Faranon guys and the people that came in around my time frame when it really was just being picked up by Harris. But that whole annual gathering kind of fell apart when COVID started. And the other sad fact, and I'm sure this is common to a lot of these company get-togethers, there aren't that many of the old-timers around. I mean, it's just sad, but a lot of the guys and gals have passed on. But hopefully we'll have a Faranon Electric gathering at Harry's Hofbrau this coming Christmas time. I met my wife at Harris in 1980, so I got very involved in more than just point-to-point microwave radio design. All right, and good evening, everybody. Thanks for running the show there, Mike, and just a really fun gathering tonight. WA6JKN, this is N6AF.
Okay, I'm still here. Hang on a minute, I gotta turn this thing down. Okay, very good. All right. Well, a couple of things real quick. I know this is a 73 round. Loved your story. Brought back memories there, Chuck. I was, my retirement was at Harry's Hofbrau as well, and it's a great place for a retirement party. And it's the go-to place. Now this one I think was in Mountain View or San Jose or something like that. Of course, I've been retired for well over a decade now, so I don't remember which where it was. But I will tell you, the food was great, the atmosphere was great, the service was great, and I think the best part of my retirement was all living bosses I have had over 40 years showed up that were still living. Some of them had passed away, but the vast majority of them all showed up. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how they pulled it off, but the folks back in D.C., Washington, D.C., they I guess they have special directories. They can look up people, and they were all there. I was really taken back and listening to their stories, and remembering me when I was, in the young version of myself as I went through the 40-year career. All right, enough of that. On to Ron's question of the evening, W6RBJ. I remember that being a problem with the ground fault interrupters going south, but there is a solution, and of course I didn't know what it was, so I looked it up real quick. And maybe you've done this, I don't know, Ron, but the ARRL has a website dedicated to the ground fault interrupters. They talk about it, not in great technical detail, but they basically said any unbalanced currents caused by RFI is going to trip the old circuit breakers. But the new circuit breakers have been redesigned to prevent that from happening. And the ARRL provides a list of the specific GFCI products to buy. And of their list, the Bryant and Hubble ground fault receptacles version has published 0.5 volt immunity from 150 kilohertz to 230 megahertz. So that's one. What is this? Levitron GFCI circuits are also good, both for the 15 amp, 20 amp versions. So anyway, go to the ARRL website, put in ground fault interruption, and you'll get all the detailed information. If you can't find it, drop me a note and I'll send it to you via email. So that's what I wanted to pass on to you. 73, good night to everybody. Thanks for being there. It's a real treat to have Brown there. Have a safe trip home. And over to, check my list. Yeah, Brown. W1NZR, if you haven't checked out already. WA6JKN.
No, Kevin, I haven't checked out. Thank goodness. I still have many unimportant things to accomplish. WA6JKN and the group W1NZR. Thank you very much. KWS1 still doing a very nice job. Chuck, thanks for that story. Very, very interesting. I was turned on to Harry's about, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago by my friend Paul, E6 Fox Echo Golf, who lives in Redwood City also. And I know, and he works for IMAC. And I know that there are some IMAC guys that meet there as well. So obviously it's a venue and has been for quite a while. I think that the Redwood City Harry's is one of maybe 2 or 3 that are left. It was some sort of franchise, and I think there were half a dozen of them around the Bay Area, but a number have closed, and this is one of the last ones. I find it a very interesting place. For all of you who have been listening to this and are wondering what are they talking about, it's a dichotomy of sorts. It's a cafeteria-style eatery with a world-class bar. But the food is very, very good. But again, it's a cafeteria style. You line up and take a tray as though you're in high school and pick what you want, and they put it on the plate. And then around the corner, they have a wonderful bar that has a rotating cap of, I think, 20 or 25 beers, and then even more in bottles, and the wine selection's great. It's just a great deal of fun. Anyway, and this has been a great deal of fun. Mike, thank you very much for orchestrating this sanity. A very good evening to all. But first, greetings to Ron, Skip, and George. I'm not sure if George is copying me up in Pineville, Oregon, but good to hear another KWS-1 on. And I'm going to hand it over to Marie to say good very evening to all of you. And thank you all for participating. And again, Mike, thank you very much for orchestrating this. So over to Sonora, K6IOY, and the Collins Net from W1NZR, saying a very good evening to all.
This is K6IOY, and a good evening to everybody out there. It's been kind of fun getting on the air. I'm mostly a listener. Good to talk to you too, Brown. And everybody have a good evening, and I'll say 73s. Oh, yeah, Mike tells me to say I've been to the Harry's also, probably 20 years ago. Long time ago. Anyway, it was fun. Anyhow, I'm going to hand this over to Mike. This is K6IOY. Thanks so much for letting me join in.
Yeah, W6MVM, K6IOI, W6MVM. We're here, and I worked in Redwood City in this 69 area, working on the Lemon Apollo high-gain steerable antennas at Dalmo Victor. And I lived in a sailboat at Beach Harbor. People who remember Beach Harbor and that cafe there, and Pete Uccelli, who was probably preserved most of that wetlands for us today. Anyway, let's see, 73 guys, what a great time. And also on those breakers, ground faults kind of hold up pretty good. It's the arc faults that really go bad. And I had my KWS-1 running on 220, which I wired in specially. Didn't have that, but when I put it on 110, boy, that arc fault, you could not run it on that. And then also my 7800, my IC 7800, wouldn't work on 40 meters on there. I had to replace the dang arc fault detector with just a standard breaker, which I was able to do, and keep everything running in the ham shack there. Boy, they are a pain in the ass. Arc fault particularly, anything with relays in it trips those off. And my 7800 on 40 meters would always trip the arc fault detector after talking for a while. Anyway, the S-line never bothered it. I ran the S-line on that for years, and didn't trip it, including 3001. Anyway, 73 everybody. It's great to hear everybody on the net tonight, and I'm glad Brienne got on. She enjoyed it. So we'll say 73, W7MS, W6MVM.
I think there was a breaker for Ron.
What's that, Kevin?
Yeah, I have a comment for Ron. The AWR website also has the ARC in the same article. Talks about both. I didn't know which one it was, but anyway, rest assured they have solutions for both.
Okay, Ron, did you hear Kevin?
Roger, thank you for all that have commented on this. I did find the ARRL article, but I did not find the part in which it talked about approved grants that have been updated for today's situation. However, lucky me, I happened to purchase a Leviton 20-amp GFCI and installed it, and it's been flawless ever since. So I seem to have stumbled onto things, and I'm glad to find that it didn't just happen to me. So things are up and running just fine. Back to you, Mike.
Wonderful.
Yeah, okay. Well, it looks like you found the resolution by default, and now you can go to the ARRL specific page, the approval page, and find out you've been approved. So congratulations to all. And find on the arc faults in W7MS to make it official. Yeah, I've seen some threads on the interweb there where people have been fighting the arc fault fight. But for Mike, MVM, I wondered if you knew John Svoboda, W6MIT. He was a Dalmo Victor employee back in the day.
I did not. I probably did, but I probably didn't know he was a ham. W6MM.
Okay, yeah, because I can remember that's that's going way back into ancient history in the archives. But I remember him discussing his some of his previous work life and experience. And in Fine on Harry's, we got the rundown here. It's the place to be. And I guess one of the ideas is not only the great bar, but it's also just kind of quaint from an old-fashioned standpoint. It's dated, but in a good way, and also quite the watering hole and the eating establishment for various folks. And and just for Chuck, I worked with some legacy GT Lankert folks, some really old timers. And I'm sure they're no longer on the planet, but they had, managed to save somewhat of a career when GT shut down the operation there, when they closed up. But let me see here. We're getting at the witching hour, but over to Dennis, W6DQ, Lisa, KF6QNG, and then over to Skip, K6LGL. We'll get final comments from Ron, W6RBJ, and then wrap it up with KB6YZZ. And then we'll shut things down and then turn this frequency over to amateur use or unofficial or whatever we want to do here. So, Dennis, take it away, W6DQ, W7MS.
W6Q.
Hi, Brian.
Well, good evening, Brian. Okay, W7MS. And the call is at W6DQ here. And, I'll try to keep it short. Two things. One is, I got to thinking about it, and you guys are talking about Harry's Hofbrau. We used to go to the Maker Faire, the Bay Area Maker Faire. We used to do a booth there every year up there at the San Mateo. What did they call that? The San Mateo Event Center, I think is what they call it. It was basically the old racetrack there at Fairgrounds. And the first few years we were up there, we always stayed in Foster City. And right around the corner on the other side of the freeway was the Harry's Hofbrau. And we were very disappointed one year when we went up there and they were closed. And then we had to go find another place for our after the fair soirees. And that was really a bummer. We really enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed that place. I don't know if Lisa did or not. She doesn't remember much about it. But yeah, I've been there a lot to the one there that was in Foster City. So that's cool. That does bring back some memories. The other thing about the ground fault, and Mike, you mentioned seeing a lot of threads on the internet. The one that comes to mind, and this is, I think, a pretty common one, is that it's been on the R390A email reflector for years. Guys with R390As or R390s that are sitting on GFCI circuits tend to blow the GFCIs. And it's been isolated down to the power line filters, the core comms and that kind of thing. The filters basically degrading and getting leaky. And I wonder, if the radios have any kind of radio. A lot of times vintage radios have line filter, maybe an OT1 microfarad disc ceramic capacitor, a couple of them across the main to ground. If those caps get leaky and it's on a GFCI, and maybe it's just a little marginal, so most of the time it's fine, but once in a while or eventually over time, the capacitor gets a little leakier and starts blowing the GFCI. So there's all kinds of possibilities out there, but it's good to hear that you got it resolved, Ron. That's the good news. So congrats on that. I wanted to wish Brown safe travels home. It was great to have you out here. Look forward to when you're back again. Especially if you're going to be in Southern California. If you're going to go visit Max, you should come and visit us too, because we're right down the street. In fact, we're on the way. So, anywho, it'll be good to meet you. And let's see, anything else here? I think that's it. George, I was unable to hear. He's just down in the noise here. So, hopefully, George, you're hearing us. You'll be back again. And look forward to being able to hear you sometime. And nice to have Brian join us. Get his tail in there. So I'm going to send it over to Lisa. Mike, again, thanks very much. I would say 7-3 to everyone. Have a great weekend, a great week. And we'll be back next Friday. I think next Friday is my turn again. I believe, yeah. That's the first Friday. So I'll be at the helm next week. So anyway, good night, everybody. Over to Lisa. KF6. Oh, I guess I should add Marie. Nice to have you join us this evening. Always nice to have another female on the net. That's cool. We've had a few here in the past, so nice to not have Lisa as the only one on here tonight. So that's cool. Good on you. So speaking of Lisa, over to Lisa, KF6QNG and the Collins Net W6DQ.
All right, thank you. And yes, I wanted to express that sentiment as well. It's always good to have more female power here on the band. So anyway, like I said, wish everyone a great weekend. Stay safe. Try to stay cool. And God willing, we'll be here next week. So take care, everyone. So let's see. It goes over to Skip, K6LGL from KF6QNG.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. KF6QNG on the 73 line for the Collins 6 AM net. K6 little green light. Skip in Santa Monica. Hey, you're absolutely right. That's another pleasant female voice, K6RY there. So, welcome aboard. Always nice. They welcome all the ladies here. So, Lisa, always good to hear you, but always nice together. Not much more from here. I'll pass along my best to 73s and thank some of you on the other nets. And hey, everybody have a nice, cool weekend if it's possible. So with me, I'm W6RBJ up in way Northern California. K6 Little Green Light, Santa Monica Bay to Bay. Good night.
Excellent, Skip. K6LGL and the Collins Group, W6RBJ. I thank everyone for your comments about my question on GFCIs. I did not mention, and I should have, two things. I'm running pretty much the same station that Dennis is tonight, just FYI, except the 30L1 instead of the 30S1. And the thing that really confused me about the issue with the GFI failure was that none of the equipment I was using was plugged into the GFI circuit. It seemed to be some sort of an inductive coupling of the RF into that circuit, but none of the transmitters, receivers, or anything was plugged into that GFCI circuit, so that was weird. At any rate, it's been great to chat with everybody, and look forward to chatting next week. And Mike, thank you as usual for your excellent handling as the net master. So I will pass my 73s around and pass it over to George, WD6YZZ, W6RBJ, 73s.
Anybody here, George?
Nope. Negative in Santa Monica.
Okay, yeah,
Negative.
I sure heard Ron, but let me give a shout out, give him the last chance. WB6YZZ, W7MS, it's your turn to burn. Well, I guess George has signed out, but it was great to hear him with the KWS1. Yeah, you had the RF issue, and Dennis was describing, I guess, capacitive reactance and line bypass capacitors. Yeah, you jogged my memory there, Dennis, on that thread, and I guess it can relate to other devices that have line bypass caps off the line cord, not to mention the aging issues, but which goes to explain why with some people feel a little tingle when they have a two-wire on-grounded radio without a safety ground when they're connecting their antenna. You might feel a little transference of current going through your body. But I think that we're going to wrap this up. It's been great. Again, 7-3s, and to the two ladies, yes, female power here. So congratulations to you two here on the net tonight. That was a lot of fun, and Dennis and Mike are more than willing to share microphones, so that's a plus also. But with that, 7-3s from Reno. We'll see you again next month for the fourth Friday. And with that, we'll close the Friday evening West Coast Collins Collectors Association net and turn this frequency to normal amateur operation, W7MS. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
73, Mike, W6RBJ.